Oh.
So as I said, we should have 4 components, but we have to start from a dictionary. And for example, in the case of if we look around the real world, anything is consisted with a subpart. And the class we have a classification. For example, the panda and the human beings is one of the creature. And but a creature is also the subclass of some existing things. But on the other hand, in our world, there is abstract things also exist. The unit is also one of the examples. We cannot see, but definitely they exist. So, abstract thing and the non-abstract things. And those we can call both of them as an object. This is one idea of the classifications. So in the case of a machine, there will be maybe car or plant or maybe airplanes or whatever. So we can in such a way classify everything. So when we are preparing the dictionary, we have to classify everything along with some specific, rules. This is one of the ideas. Starting from an object can be classified with the abstract things and non-abstract things in such a way. And another aspect of the object is the classification, composition. This structure is a classification, but another aspect is compositions. So composition means, for example, the piping spool consists with a pipe and a flange and a valve. This is the construction, structure, constitution, composition. Sorry. And in the case of a car, as I already explained, car consists with the tires, wheels, chassis, bodies, blah blah blah. This is also another good example of composition. So that if we are going to prepare some sort of a dictionary, we have to categorize things or objects in at least 2 aspects. One is a classification. Another aspect is composition. So based on such kind of idea, if we can prepare the dictionary correctly, then we can also, represent the phenomena or activities. Activity means event which, gradually changing along with the time. Like if we think about welding or the parts, this activity information should have property like starting time and finishing starting date and finishing date, and also the required length of the welding, and in this example 200 meters, and this is a requirement. But during the power plant constructions, there should be the instance based on this requirement. That means there is an actual starting date here and actual planned finishing date here, and also the current length of the completed welding here. This length may vary along with the time, maybe starting from 0 meter to 35 meter, 45 meter, 100 meter, and finally we have to complete the welding up to the 200 meter. This is it. So the point is, we can also represent such kind of activity in the computer system. So in such a manner, we can structure any sort of information related with our business. So more complicated example is this. So it is quite complicated and it is not easy to understand well, but I try to explain. And the point is, I've been explaining about the necessity of the composition to structure the information, and the starting from dictionary is important. And at this moment, we already have such kind of specific dictionary or the data model already specified in the specific ISO standard. So that the point is, such kind of idea is not just idea, but already somebody is now thinking about that, and already there is the international standard. And this is one of the example about the activity model using the dictionary. From left-hand side to the right-hand side, this is the chart drawing shows from a requirement and plan and the actual the result of the activities, which those are the clearly modeled with each dictionary, and also the relationship with other components of the dictionaries. So if we represent the information in such a way, then a computer can the process by using some sort of program. And specifically in the case of this, we are going to use the reasoning inferring engine. This is the structure of the information of the activities, or in other words, this is the knowledge about the information in the product life cycle. And to process different information, we can adapt this information structure to the inferring the engine. This is a totally different world with the machine learning AI. We started from a dictionary structure, represented computer accessible representation, and the mechanism of the information exchange. If we have such kind of component, then we can construct structure, all sort of information related with the business, and we can process those sort of information by using the machine inferring engine. So this is a very fundamental idea of explicit knowledge AI idea, and more specifically, I'm going to explain about the very brief theoretical aspect of the explicit the knowledge AI technologies. So, I don't know if you're familiar with the propositional logic or first order logic.
Actually, no.
No. Okay.
So sorry. Sorry, I'm great from Bunke. So
yeah.
Sorry about that.
So yeah. So at this moment, when we talk about ontology, is idea how to classify and to explain the composition of the things or object. This is the ontology. This is but there are two sort of typical different ideas at this moment in the ontology right now. One of the ontology is linguistic ontology, and another ontology is set theory ontologies. it seems very similar, but clearly different. So, in the case of linguistic ontologies, we explain things like this. It is much easier to understand about meanings from the bottom. So, if we like to say man is a mammal, man is a kind of mammal, this can be explained in such a presentation. We put the man and the mammal in one bracket, putting the relationship name at the top in prior to this bracket. This is one of the presentation of the man is a kind of a mammal in the linguistic ontology way. In the same manner, if we like to say car has wheels, automobile has wheels, in such a case we can represent this linguistic explanation in such kind of formal way. Has a automobile, wheel. This is a representation of this automobile has a wheel. So in this case, what the general idea behind this explanation is this. So we have an x. X belongs to the set A, and objectives, subjectives, y belongs to the set B, and function P explains about the clouds, about the relationship between the first parameter and the second parameter. And P itself, the humankind can give the specific meaning. And if we typical situation is if we say is a this meaning is this is a relationship can be used in such kind of way. Man is a kind of a man, and like a dog is a kind of man. So and so all the what can I say proposition can be explained in using such a way. So if we prepare as much as the number of the predicate P, which is necessary for the power plant industry, then we can explain anything by using this explanation, this format.
Interesting.
On the other hand, the set theory ontology is it seems very similar, but actually different. So suppose that we have a group A and a group B, and starting from example, if we like to say a man is a kind of mammal, and in the case of set theory ontologies, of course, A is a set of the man, and B is a set of the mammal, and there are several properties satisfies this relationship, and so A is a man and B is a mammal, and P1 is a relationship about the something has the belly button. And another function, P2, is a function about the possibility to speak the languages. And if we have such kind of two relationship here, and we may be able to explain about the characteristics of the A by using relationship P1 and P2. So if X have a belly button, and if X also speaks languages, and such kind of A can be belong to the A. And set D, normal, is the only satisfy the function P1. That means something X have a variable term. Such kind of X belongs to D. So if we specify the two set of the groups by using the two specific the functions, then those two groups can be let's say explained by the between the relationship of the set theory. So I mean as you see here, mankind should have the variable tongue and so speaks the languages, while the mammal is just a fundamental requirement is having a variable tongue. So that if X satisfies the P1 and P2 is also naturally the subset of the P. So this the proposition, man is a kind of mammal, can be judged by the inclusion relationship between the two sets. So one of the big difference between the linguistic ontology and the set theory ontology is the meaning of the relationship can be, given by the human beings in the case of linguistic ontology. While the set theory ontology, the characteristics of the group A can be specified by the functions. So the what cause the such kind of difference cause to those two idea is in the case of linguistic ontologies, to show the truth of this proposition based on the interpretations of the clause. That means so in this case we write is a, but is a meanings of is a depends on the languages. So in the case of is the simple, but in the case of if we say hotel exists on the water, so in such a case the interpretations of on is different between the English and the Japanese. So that even if we can represent that kind of a relationship in such manner, but based on the interpretation caused by the difference of the languages, the true-false situation may vary. So that cannot guarantee us to the truthness of or falseness of this propositions system to the system. So that one of the big issue of the linguistic ontology is the meaning of the proposition vary depends on the what sort of language is used for. But the other hand, based on the set theory ontologies, the group characteristics of the groups can be specified by explicitly and clearly by the characteristics of the functions, so that always the calculation of the relationship of the inclusion, for example, between the group A and group B is calculated by the set theory always, regardless of the meanings of the clause here. It's a bit tricky, but this is a big difference. So that's why, anyway, at this moment, there exist two ideas, if we say ontologies, if we structure the data, so that it depends on the user which the ontology we are going to use for some specific problem space. But we have to be careful about such kind of nature of each idea of the ontology. But it's a tricky thing. But anyway, the point is, if we are going to structure the information, we need the dictionary, which is the base for the ontology to explain our world in a structured way. That is the point. So once we have such kind of a dictionary, then we can explain. And what is going on in the real world right now? So there are actually a variety of dictionary in the current world already. Yeah, it is actually the tough work to create some consensus-based dictionary, but in these several, we can say, 10 years, a lot of clever people is working on that, and now we have so many numbers of dictionary already. One of the well-known example is a dictionary for the BIM. You know BIM?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
The keyword BIM is now one of the hot topics in the manufacturing industry. BIM is abbreviation for the Building Information Modeling.
Oh.
And BIM is especially fundamentally industry standard for the civil and the construction. They already have the dictionary for the civil and the construction work as the ISO standard. Number is 23386.
Okay.
And on the other hand, for example, aerospace and automotive industry, they also have their own dictionary, ISO 10303 part AP242. And in the case of shipbuildings, they also have a dictionary, ISO 9848. Yeah. In such a way, there exists a variety of the dictionary for each specific industries. And this is the ISO side, and also IEC side also variety of the dictionary. But now all those dictionary is now merged into this one dictionary. Yeah.
So get together, you mean?
Yeah, getting together, yes. So that means if, for example, this dictionary move to here and the BIM dictionary move to here. Sorry.
What's that?
Anyway, those are the dictionary now move into this one dictionary.
Okay.
That was decided by the ISO and IEC a few years ago. So such kind of activities will bring us some sort of ideal environment for the variety of the production engineering tools for the industry, because all those kind of software tools can use the one big dictionary regardless of the difference of industry. And so going back to the original story, we need a dictionary here, but more specifically, we need the consensus dictionary. That means once again, we have such kind of a big issue, and one of the typical example of the issue is, so suppose that there are two companies, company A and company B, and company A called the heat exchanging system as a air conditioning system. But the company B called that heat exchanging system as an HVAC.
I'm sorry, HVAC?
Please never mind about the name, but
okay.
It's
Different
two companies uses a different name for the same product, same equipment. Even in the representation in the database, company A uses the name A, but the company B uses the name B for the same equipment.
Okay.
So that's why the dictionary is important, but not the company-specific dictionary. Industry's consensus dictionary, or maybe the international consensus dictionary is important. That's why I explained about what happens at this moment in the community of the ISO IC. And we already have a dictionary, so that we are already, we may be able to say we are ready to use that dictionary to restructure our information in such kind of a formal way. So then, if we let's say move from an unstructured world to the structured world based on the international standard dictionary, then everybody can exchange the information without any negotiation before the exchange of information. That brought us the true digital transformed world.
How long does it take to finish this merging? So do you have any ideas? So for 10 years or 15 years or what?
Merging the dictionary?
Yes. Is it difficult?
It's hard to say at this moment, but actually, so we already have a dictionary for the each industry, and they are now gradually trying to merging already. And in the some of the specific industry, they are already able to use the merged dictionary. Some field not yet, but anyway, we are heading to the same direction. That is the important thing. So the point is, we have to have such kind of a consensus-based dictionary based on the SOIC. That is the most important part of this digital transformation movement. So, if we look at the let's say commercial field, so many people talk about digital transformation, what digital twinning, what digital thread, or industry 4.0. But those are just superficial things, or in other words, just a buzzword. So behind all such kind of activities, such kind of the merge, preparation of the dictionary based on the international consensus and standardizing activity, and using that standard, restructuring their information based on that kind of those kind of a dictionary and rules of the structuring. The rules of the structuring is the semantics. Putting the semantics into the representation of the information in the system. That is the semantics. So, anyway, so such kind of movement exists behind all such kind of a buzzword movement. So that we have to think about not from the aspect of the buzzword, but also we have to think about what is the essential issues which we have now, and that's starting from that point. What we next step is what we have to do. That is the important things. So that going back to past topics. Yeah. Now we go back to this. So now I explain about the movement about the how to structure data, the reusability, the digitized information under the digital transformation, and once we succeed to restructure our data, that kind of information can be handled by the explicit AI technologies rather than the machine learning AI technologies. So I myself believes it is a wrong thing to totally rely on the machine learning AI without thinking about our own, like I say, the structuring of the information. So this, talking about such kind of information, we humankind have to give the meanings into the data representation by ourselves, not to rely on the machine learning AI. We kind of have to put the meanings into the data structure by ourselves. And the next step, we can use most of the strategy of the AI. But starting from the machine learning AI without thinking about essential issues about what we have right now is totally wrong. We have to use the two types of AI depending on the situation or the cases. That is the bottom line of today's presentation. So I guess I about today's topics. So, can I make myself clear to the Uno-san?
Yeah, very good presentation, and you explained much more detail about plant operation, how they're going to organize AI processing.
Yeah.
Do you have a next step to how to organize AI, how to conclude their result or something? Do you have material?
The next.
Okay, you prepare the structured big data is human beings heavily involved in to prepare what kind of data, but the other side is non-structured data we're going to be submit to AI learning, and sort of AI learning and also human being involvement processing. How do you going to combine all those information toward to AI?
Yeah. That is, I think, a good aspect of for the future of the AI. Yes.
Do you have some slide?
No, I don't have a specific. I did not prepare for the that topics.
Actually, this kind of AI processing is already prepared in some plant in the States, like American material, right?
Yes. You're talking about whether I can give you.
Yeah. This is U.S.
information. Yes, I have some of them. Yes.
What he's going to prepare the next step for organize.
Excuse me?
Next step to organize those data.
Next step.
Yeah. From this is you're going to prepare data, right? And what are you going to do to proceed on next step?
In this topics, you mean?
Yeah. This one. Bottom line, use some books. You take some information from this book, right? 1996 or
No,
19.
not actually from a books, but yeah, based on the variety
Okay.
of the
So
knowledge.
what's going on next step? My concerns about my interesting is next step.
Yeah, next step. Okay. I think yeah, of course we may be able to get some sort of a result based on the current research and implementation of machine learning AI. But the result may be also the same with the last movement of the AI. That means that we may be able to get some sort of a very specific the result. But that will also what I say make the disappoint to the many executive people, because at this moment, as I said, so many the executive people, the company, and also the ordinary people have too much expectation on AI.
But actually, they are implemented already in manufacturing chemical plant preventive maintenance. They are using this AI.
Yeah.
So
yeah, preventive maintenance is one of the good example for the machine learning AI.
right, yes.
Because in that case, finally, human maintainer have to judge based on the result, or based on the result which will be brought from machine learning AI.
Yeah.
So what we have to do next for the maintenance. And yes, that is one of the good example, prediction. And
early this afternoon, you discussed with Edo, like how to figure out the cancer's level of cancer step to figure out what the patient will going to. This is not difficult, but this kind of sort of you explained this afternoon, like a plant, maintenance, data, big data, is not easy one. Okay, not like a cancer detecting, but this is very difficult. The big data and analysis will going to be required to proceed on AI processing.
Okay. The bottom line is the current machine learning AI is fundamentally based on the statistics and the pattern matching. That's all. So
yeah, I understand. I
Okay.
I understand.
Okay. And what sort of result we may be able to get from the result which were brought by the machine learning AI depends on the context of our side, humankind side. So as far as the humankind have to judge based on the result from a machine learning AI, any sort of the issue can be the target for the machine learning AI. But if we try to use the machine learning AI without the interruption of mankind, there will be, I think, very strict limitations for the future of the machine learning AI. The one of the good example is autonomous driving vehicle. So at this moment, the AI is now used for the assisting the driver.
What do you mean restriction? What do you mean restriction?
The current use case of the machine learning AI is the assisting the driver, not controlling the car itself without the interruption by the driver. Yeah, of course, the Uber or the Tesla or the Google, they are now testing about 100% of automatic control the vehicle. But
you are talking about stage 4, stage 5?
Yes, they are now doing a stage 4, stage 5, but still there should be more discussions. And between the level 3 and the level 4, there is a huge gap. Based on my understanding, the level 3 is just assisting the driver, right? But still there exists the interruption from a human driver. But
yes.
on the level 4, that is the ability to drive the car without a human driver, right? I think there is a huge gap between level 3 and level 4. And there should be also, there definitely the discussion about the functional safety again, as I said. Because as you know, in all kind of product, if that product is going to be adapted to the mission critical the field, then there should be some sort of a regulation and a test to certify that system if we are going to produce that product into the market, right? It is not an issue of the theoretical issue. There should be also the regulation issue exist. And actually, in the case of safety, functional safety, there is seal. Seal is safety integrity level, which is specified by the IEC 61507. That is a very, very strong regulation for the high level, high functional system for every product. So if we are going to sell the autonomous vehicle without interruption of the driver, definitely such kind of product should be, like I say, verified and validated by this standard. But at this moment,
can we clear that hurdle?
One of the hurdle, yes. One of the hurdle is how we can show the safety of the machine learning AI when we adapt that AI into some system in terms of the safety.
Can we do that?
And how we can trace back the logic why that AI system judge that result. If we can show if we can trace back the logic of the machine learning AI, then we can calculate the seal level. So in the field of the functional safety specified by the IEC 61508, we have to show the seal level of that system. And the seal level is calculated by the specific methodology. And at this moment, we have no way to calculate the seal level for the functional safety of the machine learning AI. That's why if the authority or the government require, for example, the autonomous vehicle to satisfy the functional safety, anyway, the manufacturer have to show the authority about the calculation of the seal level and show how the system works in a safely manner.
Can they do that?
And for the machine learning AI safety, at this moment, there's no regulations. That discussion is now just started in the IEC community. So that on the theoretical and implementation side, they can do anything as far as they are not going to sell that product to the market. On the regulation side, such kind of discussion is now undergoing right now.
It takes time, right?
Takes time, yes. Because one of the big difficulty for the machine learning AI is the machine learning AI cannot produce us the definitive result. Yes and no. Machine learning AI cannot give us yes and no result strictly in the context of the use case. Yeah, of course, they can give us the result based on their criteria. But based on the regulation criteria, it is impossible right now. That's why still the machine learning AI is very useful for some specific the use case, like recommendation of the product of the Amazon. That is okay.
Forecasting.
I guess finding some sort of very special case of cancer from the image. That is also okay, because the human doctor finally judge whether they have to do something. That is
yeah,
but
also court and judges, accounting, lawyers.
One of the, on the other hand, one of the advantage of the explicit knowledge AI is this system can give us definitive answers, yes or no, and also we can trace back what kind of logic behind that judge. This can be traced back in a systematic way. That's why also for the very specific field of industry, very expectable the technologies. That is one of the big advantage of the another type of AI, explicit knowledge AI, which I explained to